So there's a popular concept that some people subscribe to, that what they do doesn't affect other people. That's impossible. It is impossible to commit an act in a vacuum, so long as there are two conscious people involved, at a minimum. Whatever you do will affect everyone else on planet Earth. Sounds ridiculous, I know. The truth is, we're all part of the same human consciousness network. And what you do affects the person immediately to your left and right, and also people who are many, many miles away from you. People who may never see you and never know your name. Just because you are a conscious human being, and so are they. It's inescapable. Have you, if you throw a brick, you throw a stone in a pond, right? You throw a stone in a pond, where the most dramatic impact will be right at ground zero, right where that stone hits in the pond, right? But what happens then? There are ripples, and those ripples will continue. They will continue, and they will ripple right out until they hit the shore, regardless of how far away it is. It doesn't matter that you may not be able to perceive them after a certain amount of feet in time and space, but they're still traversing the body of that water to reach the shore. And that's what human actions are like. There was a man long ago named Don Juan, I think, a poet, and he wrote a poem for Who the Bell Tolls. I remember I read it a long time ago. But in it, he talks about a bell that tolled, maybe in a certain town or village, a death knell of sorts. That when that bell rung, you knew that someone had passed away. Bong, someone died. Now, naturally, when you hear that, you would wonder, well, who died, right? People might wonder, who's the bell tolling for? But what Don Juan talks about in that poem is he talks about how we're connected. See what I'm saying? And how in reality, when you hear the bell toll, as a matter of fact, he ends it that way. See, he says that we're all connected, and all our actions, we're part of the same thing I'm talking about, a part of this human network. And in essence, when you hear the bell toll, your instinct might be to ask, well, what other separate individual, what other entity apart from yourself the bell is ringing to signify the death of? But he said, the next time you hear the bell toll, ask not for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. The bell is ringing for you. Some of you may be monotheistic, you may be Christians, but you don't know, there's a long, long time ago, many thousands of years ago, the first, as far as I'm aware, recorded monotheist in history was a man named Amenhotep IV. Akhenaten, Pharaoh Akhenaten, an Egyptian pharaoh in Africa. You may have heard of his son, King Tutankhamun. Actually, he named him Tutankhaten, and the name ended up being changed afterwards. Whole other story. Actually, a very interesting character, Akhenaten. A lot of people say he actually looks like President Obama. But Akhenaten was the first monotheist in recorded history. He worshipped a god named Aten. As a matter of fact, the name Akhenaten means effectual, or in service of Aten. Now, you may be a monotheist today, a Christian. You don't have any idea that man several thousand years ago, whose name you've never heard, whose face you've never seen, right? Whom you've never touched, whom you may have never heard of unless you would watch this video today. You may never know that his actions affected you, or your reality, what you believe, what you perceive to be the truth. And he didn't know it would either. And there are many, many examples of this all around us. People who have done momentous things in history that are so far off in antiquity, we can't even remember their names. But those events have traversed the, shall I say, illusionary boundaries of time to affect you to today. I talked about this in another video of mine. Somebody struck a piece of flint one day, discovered fire, discovered how to prepare food. Someone else discovered how to create a shelter. Someone did this or did that, and that's brought us all the way to modern day, and iPads and smart cars and cell phones, flat screen TVs and 4K. Everything is connected. Every action is connected. Every thought is connected. And everything you do as a conscious human being affects everybody else on planet Earth. That's not some sort of mind trick to make you more accountable, make you more conscious of your actions. That what that is the absolute truth. There is no separation. All the separation there is in the world is artificial. I'm this and you're that and we're this and they're that, and what I do doesn't affect you and what you do doesn't affect me, and you don't mind my business and I won't mind. I mean, that's fine. To some degree we just have to resolve ourselves to the truth that other people affect us, and to a very large degree there's very little we could do about them, but there's a whole lot we could do about ourselves, which is why I always encourage people to work in themselves and make themselves better. Improve yourself. Don't be obsessed with it, but work on yourself little by little. Make yourself a little bit better than you were last year, whatever it is, and whatever area you're lacking. If everyone on earth did that, imagine the kind of world we live in. But everyone ain't doing that. What you do affects me. You may not know me. You may never see my face aside from this screen. You may never hear my voice aside from this audio. But what you do affects me. And what I do affects you. Now, we know of the great men and women in history who have done incredible things, and we know for sure that they're affecting us. Look at Elon Musk and what he's doing right now. It's going to have a huge impact, and that's just if you consider his electrical vehicles. Never mind SpaceX, never mind Starlink, never mind the solar technologies and the battery technologies that his people are working on. PayPal, all these things. One man. Not really. That's not realistic to think that one person can accomplish all these things. But it's difficult to think that the dude down the street who's a baker or the garbage man, or what they may do, but listen, it does. We're all part of the same human consciousness network. You're a node and I'm a node, and we affect each other. Peace.